What's up, influencers? Welcome to another session here on our channel where we're helping you build your influence, income, and impact with online videos. As you guys know, we have weekly tips and tricks videos to help you guys do exactly that. And we have interviews with some of the top creators, people building successful channels, as well as utilizing video to also build their influence, income, and impact with online videos. And today we're going to be talking about finding your purpose, following your passion. And I know the title says why following your passion might not be the best idea. And we're going to explain, how to find your inspiration, motivation to be able to do those things. And I'm excited today because I have a very special guest, somebody that pumps me up all the time, super motivating, will help you find your inspiration, hopefully help you find your purpose and passion to be able to do this and to be able to build a channel. I've got Michael Gebben from Jump Starters on here right now, a very good friend of mine, and you got to go check out his channel. Michael, welcome to Video Influencers.
What's up, Benji?
I'm excited.
Excited to be here, my man. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, and we have a lot of history. We've worked on a few projects together. Of course, we've gone live in the past, but today specifically, we're talking about how you can really find your passion, right? But maybe some tips to do it in a different way, because a lot of people, they're waiting for their passion to fall in their lap, when you and I both know maybe it's already there. It's just not as obvious to people right now. And that's why we are going to be going live today and explaining that. If you guys are just jumping on, let us know how the audio is. Let us know where you're watching from, and leave your comments in the comments area, because we're going to be answering as many questions at the end of this broadcast as possible. Michael, please share with us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and let's talk about this.
Yeah, I'm excited to share this because I said this once before, and I got on this one podcast, and this lady was like, what do you mean by that? And the reality is, the person that you're going to see over the next 20, 30 minutes or so here on this live is not the person I've always been. The person who loves to inspire and encourage and motivate, but has an enormous amount of energy that I seem to be able to naturally convey, was not always who I was. And so what I'm doing today, if you would have told me in high school that I'd be doing it, I would have said you were crazy, because quite frankly, it's not something I was excited about. In fact, talking in front of my class in high school would have given me a heart attack. But I basically ran with different things. So I owned a video production company, but that still happened accidentally, happened through my dad. My dad works at a cemetery. He made movies. And one of the funeral homes asked my dad if we could make slideshows. And so I ran with that. And so all these different things that I've been able to do, from shooting over 300 weddings to working with people like Tim Ferriss and Tony Robbins and Mr. Benji right here, and all sorts of other incredible things, didn't happen by me not taking action, which is the thing we're going to talk about a lot today, taking action. And I talk about MIA, massive imperfect action, because the reality is, if you're just listening to things like this live or on Facebook or on YouTube or podcasts or reading books, and you're waiting for someone else to tell you what you should do, you're going to be waiting a long time. So I find that the fact that if you go out there and you do things, especially if you haven't found that thing yet, go out there and do things. And as a byproduct, you'll start to gain more clarity. You'll start to gain more confidence. You'll start to gain more certainty in what it is that thing that you could potentially do for a living. And I'll have one more nugget here. Ask, what would you do for free if you didn't need money? Because this has really guided me. If I stop and go, what would I keep doing, stop doing, and start doing if I didn't need money? It gives me the clarity to know I'm doing this thing for the wrong reasons. And whatever destination I think I might get to, I probably won't, because everything to really do well takes a lot of hard work, takes a lot of patience, takes a lot of persistence. There's a lot of ups and downs. I always joke, it's not all rainbows, butterflies, and unicorns here. And so Yeah, man. I'm just going
Absolutely.
you cut in there, buddy.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michael. You know, obviously, you're somebody that motivates and inspires people all the time, and you know, your advice is gold here. And this is the thing that we want to dive in today. You know, like we know that you guys want to find your purpose, your passion,
Sure.
because you want to live this amazing life, and it might be just as easy as following your fun. You know, what excites you? What like gets you out of bed, and what makes you want to be like, I want to just tackle the day, or like what makes you like wait for the Saturday or wait for a specific day in the week. And that might be the easiest thing you can do right now to figure out what your passion is, right? So that's what we say, follow your fun, right? What like do you look forward to doing that you would do no matter what, whether you got paid or not? What do you like know the most about? And maybe that's the first thing that you start with when you're starting your channel. You know, here on Video Influencers, obviously it's all about like becoming a YouTuber, right? Or this digital influencer, or this a video creator. And the question is like, you know, I don't even know what to tape. I don't even know what to talk about. And well, I always say is like, well, what do you have fun doing, right? What are you doing right now that you can easily do for hours? And like we were saying, like that you don't have to get paid to do. You would do for free. That's a great starting place to figure that out. So that's why I always say follow your fun first, and then it would lead you on this path to finding out what your passion is, right? But don't wait for it, right? Like what you're doing right now. And I think that's the thing I want to ask. And like a throwback to you is like a lot of people are maybe working a job that they don't think is their passion, right? Or maybe they're going to school and they don't know what their passion is. Don't wait for it right now. Like you can live life at a 10x level doing whatever it is, and you're going to find your passion. But be motivated today, right? Be inspired to live at this like high level of energy so that you can eventually find what that purpose is in your life.
Well, I think, Benji, the one thing is I remember even bringing up Tim Ferriss when he started his podcast. And this is something I want people to think about when starting a YouTube channel, when starting something on Facebook, starting a blog, whatever it is that you're going to specifically do. When Tim Ferriss started his podcast, he said, you know what? I'm going to do 6 episodes and I'm going to see what happens. And if I love it, I might keep doing it. If people like it and I don't love it, I might not even continue to do it, even if people like it. But if I don't love it. And so there's this kind of balance. And what I found is that don't get crippled by, I don't know what to do on YouTube, or I don't know what the podcast should be. Do that thing like he's saying. What's that thing you talk about? Video, you know, so many have made so much success off of playing video games. I mean, who would think, really? I mean, before YouTube and everything else, who would have ever thought that people would get paid to sit and play video games, right? And so, but you can start something. You can start a YouTube channel right now and do it for 6 months. And actually, there's a guy named Tim Urban, Wait But Why. He did a blog for 9 years where he did chocolate-covered McDonald's, McNuggets, and all these crazy things. Didn't have a lot of success. And then he decided 9 years later to start this Wait But Why. And they were going to be blog posts that were like book length. Would take him months to write. And he ended up having notice from Elon Musk and all these other crazy things. But that first blog for 9 years didn't even get 1/3 of the traction that his first post got, where he went in depth and he took everything that he learned from just playing around. So that's why you have to start, even if that thing is not going to be the thing, the sweet spot. But you're never going to find it by just thinking about it.
Absolutely. And that's why the next thing is taking massive action. And that's why earlier I was saying, like, whatever that it is that you're doing currently, take massive action, right? Like decide that you're not going to no longer be like a 1 or 2. You're going to be a level 10 player in whatever it is, in school, in your job, in your career, in your business. Because you know what? When you have that kind of energy, it's infectious, right? And people around that, like, they're going to be glad that you're like that, and it's going to inspire other people and motivate other people. And that's not what we're talking about here, right? Like, how do you motivate other people, inspire other people? The reason we bring it up is because maybe you are doing something that you really feel like in your gut that that's not what you're supposed to be doing, right? Or it's not your purpose, it's not your passion, but why that can lead you into those things. what's going to happen is like when people see you at your highest energy level, the thing that excites you the most, the thing that you're having the most fun and you're really good at, eventually people will start noticing it, right? You'll start like getting the promotions at your job, right? You'll start like finding the classes at school that you should be taking, or people in your life are going to notice and going to help you guide you in the right direction. And you're going to just find out what your path is. You're going to decide like when you don't get that promotion or you don't have the classes at your school that you ultimately want to take because you're starting to understand what it is that you're supposed to be doing with your life, you're going to go start seeking those out. But if you live at like this low energy and you're just like, you know, my life is just crappy and there's no point. I'm just going to look on Instagram or I'm just going to like look at other people's exciting lives. If you live at that kind of level, like that kind of energy level, you're not going to attract the kind of things or the kind of people that you need to be able to find your purpose, right? To be able to find your passion. And that's why we try to start this with such simple tips, like what do you have fun doing, right? Like what would you do for free if you could do it? Like, and that's the next thing I want to ask you about, Michael, is about the long game, right? Patience, and how we both have never met anybody that literally automatically had overnight success, was a millionaire the next day, you know, found their passion and purpose like literally after watching one of these. I would love to say like, man, you can watch me for an hour and you're going to find your purpose or passion, but that's not real. Like people find it after this long journey. So when people say like, you know, my overnight success took only 10 years. Well, it's because sometimes it takes a long time, not only to find your purpose or passion, but to have success in your life. Let's be real. The reason people want to live a passionate life and have purpose in their life, because they want to live life, an exciting life, and they want to have success, and they want to be able to make money, and they want to be able to do things that, you know, other people can't do because they're not willing to put in the work. And you have to put in the work for a very long time. You want to speak to that, Michael?
Well,
and
yeah,
like your experience with it?
I have a story about a guy through Jumpstarters who his name is Ronnie. Awesome guy. And the interesting thing is he'd been dabbling in video since, I mean, he's the same age as me. He's 31 years old, been dabbling since high school. But he let everyone else, coining on the, you know, no pun intended, influence him and telling him the things he should do. You should film weddings. You should film commercials. You should film all these different things. And so in real life, would you do it for free? So he filmed a thing called poker runs. There were these boat races in Atlanta, Georgia that he had filmed for 4 or 5 years for free. He just loved doing it. He loved the water. He said he loved the babes. He loved the chrome. He loved the boats. Well, here's the thing. I asked him that question, what would you do for free? And his answer was poker runs. And he was already like, I'm doing those for free. Well, once I we all don't need an external source to give us permission to do what we love, do what we're passionate about, do what we like. But in his case, this overnight success happened because for years he'd put in the effort in video. He was already filming this poker run for free. And when he finally got this permission to go, you mean I could do this for a living? Like I could actually get paid to do poker runs? He ended up getting a $50,000 contract because he took MIA, he took massive imperfect action. He reached out to every poker run across the United States and Canada versus the prior years. All he did was reach out to a couple and they had told him no and whatnot. But when he finally was clear on, I can do this, and he was already good at that, and he had a knowledge in that he was able to have a quote unquote overnight success. But the reality was it was 10 years of putting an effort in video and another 4 or 5 years of doing that in an area he wasn't getting paid for. So that's why when you remove and what do you have fun doing? What do you enjoy doing? I think so many times we devalue the thing that is easy, that is natural, that is fun. I know I've done this. I mean, I've always been able to kind of talk one-on-one passionately to people. People have now told me, now I've looked back and asked people who've known me for a long time. They're like, well, man, you've always been a talker. But I didn't recognize I could use it to impact people's lives through social media, through YouTube, through podcasts, through Facebook on a larger level than just one-to-one. And so a good buddy of ours, we both know, Alex Icon, he was the one who got me on YouTube in 2013. He said, man, you need to be on there. And I just did it, but I did it with no expectation of what I was going to get out of it. Besides, I wanted to serve on a bigger level. And so You just got to get out there,
Boom.
today.
Absolutely. And I want to first off give acknowledgement to everybody on here. Thank you so much for joining us. We're talking about finding your passion, but maybe it's not the way that you might think. And we're going to give some alternative tips. Leave your comments and your questions so we can answer them. Thank you, Hugot Radio, for the super chat. He says, if you can't figure out your purpose, figure out your passion. For your passion will lead you right into your purpose. Absolutely. And that's what we're talking about. Another word for passion, I think, is fun, right? Like what gets you excited. So thank you so much for a comment. Again, I'm reading the questions as you guys leave them in the chat area. Thank you for your super chats. But I want to share with you guys one of the most exciting success stories I know on YouTube, and it's of Sean Cannell. So you guys know Sean Cannell is a co-founder of this channel, Video Influencers. Literally one of the best, if not the best person when it comes to ranking videos, getting videos searched on YouTube. I really believe one of the reasons why Video Influencers has touched so many people's lives is because he's able to create great content. Together, we've been able to put together videos and do broadcasts with you guys to be able to teach you guys what we know, and he gets them ranked, right? But that wasn't just something happen overnight. 10 years ago, literally a decade ago, when he started making videos, he was making videos for other people. And he had a very unique role, right? He wasn't necessarily the face of the video. He's the one behind the camera, and he was recording the videos, editing the videos, and then uploading them to this thing called YouTube. Super new back then, but he was doing things back then were like groundbreaking, but no one really noticed it, right? Like it wasn't like this thing that like, oh, this is really going to move the needle. It's going to make a lot of money, or it's going to reach a lot of people. He was just utilizing because it was this new platform, right? And he went from doing this at his church. He became a youth pastor. And then he actually met me in our town right here in the Seattle greater area. And he started working with us. He started creating video for us. Again, uploading it and like learning how like the optimum tags work, how to do SEO for videos, obviously get searched. He moved to Vegas, worked for a pastor down there for a pretty big church. Again, running a team to be able to not only create video, but upload it to YouTube and again, like reach more people. And he did this for years and years and years. I'm talking like literally a decade later, when he finally starts Video Influencers with me, right? Let me tell you a little bit about Sean. He has had mega success in the last 2 years. And when I say like one of the best YouTubers when it gets to like getting videos found on YouTube, like absolutely, that's been the case for as long as I've known him. I met him like back in 2010, right? However, it's more so now than ever, like that people actually know that outside of me or people within his circle, right? You just type in Think Media TV and go to his channel. It's amazing the kind of videos he has, right? And the kind of reach he has and the growth. I think he's going to hit like 500,000 this year. But again, realize this took 10 years of him doing things that maybe like other people wouldn't want to do because maybe there wasn't like the return on investment. Maybe they weren't getting paid enough, right? I can tell you like Sean has uploaded thousands of videos where he wasn't necessarily getting paid for it, right? It was just something he was passionate about that he had fun doing. I think, again, going back to that point, he just had fun doing. And finally now, he's having the growth, right? I told you he's about to hit 500,000 here soon on his channel. He's finally making some amazing income because of what he does. He has this digital product called Video Ranking Academy. If you guys don't know about it, go check it out. It's literally the best thing I know to help you guys get your videos ranking, because we know that YouTube is this amazing community. When it comes down to it, YouTube is all about search. And Sean is one of the best at teaching that. The reason I tell you this isn't just to make him look good, which he doesn't need my help doing that. He's an amazing guy. He actually looks pretty sharp. However, it's to tell you like, it took a lot of time of him doing these different jobs, right? Following his passion in different ways and putting in major hustle, major action for a long period of time and having patience to get to this point. His 10 years for that overnight success, It's here. It's because he was focused. He did what he knew he loved to do, and he did it in different ways, and he put in the hustle for a long period of time to become who he is now, Sean Cannell, the Sean Cannell that you guys see on so many other broadcasts.
Yeah, man. And that is, I mean, I love that story. And I think what's interesting is so many times we say these things, Benji, in 5 minutes, 30 seconds. You know, we talk about 10 years and 2 seconds there. I say 10 years. But I think a lot of times when we hear other people tell these backstories, or you hear other people's stories, it still doesn't always hit. It doesn't hit. And we really, because we usually are seeing people, this is the thing people don't get. You see the Sean today, and very few know the Sean of yesterday. So what happens is when you see the Benji of today, the Sean of today, the Michael who's on here today, you don't see where they came from. But I think Sean and myself, we have these videos from years ago. I encourage you to go to your favorite YouTubers or other people out there and click on the little uploads and click oldest to new. And go hunt down the video they put up 9 years ago and take a look at that. Because most, at least what I found, haven't taken it down. And so you can go see that and you can start to go, oh my gosh, you mean the fancy set and audio and lighting and all these things they do today and the cutting. You mean it was like, hi guys, I'm Michael Gebben and I want to inspire you guys today. And I think that the reality is the way that Benji can inspire today, the way that I could inspire today wasn't 10 years ago. You wouldn't have been like fired up. Oh my gosh, I need to take some action. I need to do this from a guy going, like you mentioned, real low energy, like, hey guys, and nothing, everybody's got to have their thing. There are more monotone, mellow people. It doesn't mean every person has to come out going, hey guys, oh my gosh, and scream it. It's not that. And that's not really what we're doing. But if you meet me in person, you meet Benji, we're still going to have this level overall of enthusiasm around the topics we care about. Whereas an opposite of our personality will be the opposite. But then that person has to own that. I think that's the key, is owning who you are and continuing to develop who you are. But who you are today and who you'll be 5 years from now, if you start putting out content, if you start creating, if you start taking that action, you're not going to be the same person, 5 years from now. And you won't be able to have that Sean kind of story if you don't start right now.
Absolutely. And again, starting as simple as, what do you have fun doing right now, right? It doesn't mean that's what you have to do for the rest of your life here as a YouTuber, right? Or potentially as a digital influencer on whatever platform you're using to become a video influencer. Yeah. It's just like a starting place, right? But like these different journeys in your life, these different like adventures that you have, these different opportunities and experiences ultimately are going to help you hone in what is it that you're passionate about, right? What is your purpose? And that's why we're sharing these stories. You know, like, again, like it might seem simple, and like Michael was saying, like it might not seem like what you do today will lead into this epic like life. But, you know, everyone starts somewhere. Judy, my wife, you guys know I talk about her a lot because who doesn't love their wife, right? I love Judy. I look up to her. I'm so proud of what she's done. And she is literally one of the most successful, if not the most successful YouTuber I personally know. And there's so much about her that I don't think people really understand. But of course I do, because I see it every single day. But, you know, Judy, my wife, has like millions of followers all over the internet, okay? She literally has 1 billion video views now, wow. You guys. 1 billion just on YouTube alone, right? If you add up all the other platforms, it's amazing. But when Judy first started as a YouTuber, her first tripod was a whole bunch of shoe boxes.
Wow.
She had a digital camera. I think it just cost like $70 and it was like halfway broken, right? And I was literally, I'm not that proud of it, but I was her first hater. I used to look over her shoulder and was like, what are you doing? Like, what is it? You're on YouTube for like 3 hours and now you're going to upload a video and now you're going to. That was how Judy started. And look at her now, right? She's a YouTube preferred channel creator, which means like she's at the top 1% of creators when it comes to advertising and working with brands. Like I said, millions of followers, a billion video views, but she had that kind of start, right? And why I like sharing that story is because it was simply Judy following her passion. But really, at the time, it was just what she had fun doing. She was sharing her makeup tips. She was talking about what she just bought at the drugstore that she thought other girls, other ladies, whoever loves makeup and beauty stuff would also be interested in, right? Nothing crazy epic. Her editing, she had never edited before, wasn't that good. I mean, I would love for you guys to go to her channel. If you guys follow me, you guys probably know of Judy. Go to It's Judy Time. Go to the oldest videos. And like Michael Gebben said, like, it wasn't like groundbreaking or anything, right? Like there wasn't anything about it that was going to like win any awards, but everybody's got to start somewhere, right? And you can simply just start recording yourself with what you have fun doing. I want to leave you guys with this, and we're going to get into some Q&A, and I want to hear Michael kind of close this out as well. But this is the thing. I would love to tell you that you're going to watch this video and you're going to be inspired and motivated, of course, and that you're going to find your passion. But the reality is you're not going to just find your passion after watching this video. You might be able to watch 100 videos. You might not find it, right? If you're one of those lucky few people that like finds what your purpose in life is right from the get-go, right out of high school, and you're living this passion in life from day one, and you can be, you know, like all the way to your 90s old and be this mega millionaire or like super successful person, good for you. And I want to know who you are. Yeah, exactly. The reality is, Michael and I both know that 99.9% of people don't live that kind of life. And a lot of times it takes years, if not decades, to get to that point where you do find your purpose, right? And you do live a fully 100% life of passion, and you're like in your lane and you're doing what, you know, like you were called to do. And that's why we say like, start simple, start with like what you have fun doing. Like, what is it that you're good at right now? What kind of value? Even in your job, at your school, on your team, your career, business, like give it your all, give it massive action. And along the way, you're going to start carving out your niche. We talk about niches in YouTube, right? We talk about like getting more specific with your channels. What's the same thing with your life, right? You can have these different jobs and these different experiences, and they might not be related at all, but you're going to find like what lights you up, what gets you excited. And, you know, again, I appreciate everybody on here. Someone just came on, said, good stuff, guys. Thank you. And, you know, we want to do a lot, as much as we can for you guys, but realize it's going to take a very long time. It's going to take longer than this video can do for you. And that's what we're here for, you guys. That's what's amazing about YouTube. Like you can post up a really like scared version of yourself, and you're going to like get, you know, like kind of like feel it out and maybe figure it out, make some mistakes, have some challenges. But after however many years it takes, you're going to get to where you need to be. Michael, before we get into Q&A, any last thoughts here?
Yeah, you know, we sometimes joke about the cliches and oh, this sounds cheesy or this sounds so simple. What I found is sometimes in life, like with YouTube, you guys, of course, have courses and different things, and it's in depth because on a lot of levels, there is a lot of things that you can do, and there's a lot of different things to think about. But I think sometimes things that I've found, it is in the simplicity. And so, yeah, we can look to really create this complicated, convoluted, crazy process about how you can find your passion, find what you love, do what you love, and make a living doing that. But the reality is, if you haven't started, it does start with that. I hate to dumb it down to that, but it really does. And I think that people just cannot be crippled. I think we get schooling and college and grade school, all these things. If you do something out of place, you know, you get in trouble. If you screw up on a paper, they put red marks all over it. And so you're so afraid that what you've got to choose has to be the thing. But you could start a YouTube channel and start putting up videos right now and be broad and be all over the place. If you haven't done it, right? I think that's the thing when we talk about specific, is just where are you at in your career? And what have you already done? I mean, with my wife, as she's done videos weekly for years now, as she did them, she started to figure out the topics that resonated more, not only for her audience, but for herself. You know, when she started her beauty, lifestyle, makeup, this, all these different things, as she went about it, she started to get more clear and become more confident and find that sweet spot. And so I just think that don't worry about, if you are in that starting phase, don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about, is this going to be the thing? Or I'm passionate about so many things. What do I choose? I think that it's really a big excuse because we don't choose anything. And so it's really important to just start choosing things. And I talk about, like I said, the imperfect action. Just try things. It's not about being right or wrong, good or bad. It's about the doing, and doing the things for fun, doing the things out of enjoyment, and as a byproduct, really amazing things over time. But I think what people see is they hear a Justin Bieber story from back in the day, and oh my gosh, he got picked up by such and such, and then he's huge. It's like, well, that's like winning the lottery. And you can wait around every day to win the lottery, or you can just take the necessary action so that you're in place to be that lottery winner. But not everybody just buys one ticket and then wins. And I'm not a big proponent of buying lottery tickets, but the reality is taking that into YouTube. Some people might do videos for years and not really have anything major happen. And then boom, just out of nowhere, your life changes overnight. But it's not from typically, you've never loaded up one video, you put up one, and then everything changes. It's through that consistency and that consistent effort that you're going to grow, you're going to get better, you'll get more clear, you'll get more confident, and magic will start to happen.
Absolutely. And let's just talk about that lotto ticket. The lotto ticket of YouTube. There is a lotto ticket of YouTube, and it's going viral, right? And of course, everybody wants to go viral right when they start. This is a great thing. If you upload more videos to YouTube, you're basically buying more lottery tickets for yourself, right? And it's free. It's free to upload videos to YouTube, and that's what's great about it. I can tell you this, Sean, myself, Judy, like we have all uploaded so many pieces of content. We have had videos go viral, but it was only after like uploading tons of videos. Now, there are some creators that hit it big real quick. And we never tell people like, yes, you should be starting YouTube to try to create a viral video, right? The chances of that happening are very small. But once you start uploading like thousands of videos, like your chances get better and better. This is what happens. You actually create more luck for yourself as you get better at YouTube, right? As you improve your editing skills, as you get better at SEO, search engine optimization, tagging, ranking your videos. And eventually, when that lottery ticket happens and you win, it wasn't just because it was just by pure chance or a luck. It was because you got so good at what you're doing because of so much practice that finally you set yourself up for the opportunity to go viral, right? Or just have massive success, right? Get more views more consistently, get more subs. There's a creator that we've interviewed a few years ago now, and he was doing YouTube for like 7 years, right? Grew to 70,000 subscribers, and which is amazing, right? To have 70,000 people follow your channel, and literally in the next year went from 70,000 to 700,000 in year 8, right? I can tell you this, like anybody that's done YouTube for 7 years knows, like that's a struggle to get, like there, right? Like to put up that many videos. And the reason I share is like, like there's different levels of success. Some people are literally making a full-time income with like 5,000 or 10,000 people following them, right? Some people are barely getting by with even 1 million subscribers. Wow. It's just like, because some people have different business models, right? Yep. But when this specific creator got to 70,000, it was a struggle. It's like, it was very easily to question, like, should I keep going? Right? I don't feel like this is, and he hit it big in that next year. And you never know, when is your year coming, right? Exactly. When is your day coming, right? When is the video gonna hit? When is your channel gonna finally get traction? I don't have a magical wand or, like, what do they call those? Like globes? Yeah, Michael, what like a glass ball
or whatever,
right? I don't have that. I can't tell you when it's gonna hit. People are like, well, how long is it gonna take? Right? It's like It's different for everybody, right? And it depends on so many variables. What's your business model? What are you trying to do? What are your personal goals? But what I can tell you is like, as time goes on, you're going to start getting better and you're going to improve and you're going to finally get that lotto ticket that's winning. But it's not because you got lucky. It's because you got better, and getting better takes time.
I want to chime in, make sure we hit one more time. I've seen a few in the comment who may have came in later about why following your passion is bad advice. The reality is, if you really know what that thing is, then keep going towards it. But for all of those of you who are out there who are going, I don't know what my passion is, I don't know what I should do, that's who we're talking to, because what I do today is not what I ever dreamed I would do. It wasn't my passion. So it was through other things in life I was doing and taking action on, that things like I had a lot of success in video production. And then people started to ask me to speak at their events and mentor them. And when I started doing that, I was like bit by the virus, or I got the bug, I got the addiction. Like I was just so excited by doing that I started more and more wanting to do more motivating, coaching, training, speaking, and doing that than I did wanting to run a camera. But it first took me running the camera and having success there, where people then wanted to learn from me. Then I learned I actually like teaching and inspiring and talking to people more than I do running the camera or editing. And so that's where I think what we're talking about is that if you really think you know what that thing is, then by God, run after it with everything you've got. But if you don't and you're lost and you're looking for it externally from just like someone else to tell you what you should do, someone else to tell you what your passion is, or to find, I mean, even I've seen people watch videos on, they see a Casey Neistat, they see someone like yourself, and then they go, well, that's it. But what I've found is we're great storytellers. And so the reality is sometimes if we haven't taken any action, there's two things. One, there's things we tell ourselves that we would love. Oh my God, that would be amazing to do that. That would be so exciting. But if you actually took the time to do it, you might find, oh my gosh, that's not for me at all. Like that was horrible. And then the flip side, there might be that thing right now that you don't even know that you like, or anything that could be sitting there, like what I'm talking about for myself, that was sitting there, but it took all this other action and then it kind of fell into place. And I kind of was like, oh my gosh. And I started to go towards it. So it's just, where do you sit right now in your life? Do you know what the passion is? Great. If you do, then don't let people I let too many people in my life influence me from the thing that was my sweet spot. And I am doing my best to put people around me and even myself to never allow that to happen to such the extreme degree that I did before. And so if you know what it is, don't let others distract you off of it or tell you you shouldn't. The people who told me I shouldn't do certain things, those were the things that were the right thing for me. Like when people are like, dude, you're kind of crazy. You shouldn't do that. You need to be doing this. And if I listened to them, I lost. And if I didn't, I won. So it just really depends on where you're at, whether following your passion is good or bad advice. Of course, we wanted to have that hook to get you in and explain why there's good and bad to the advice there, but there's not really a right or wrong here. It just depends on where you're at. I hope that makes sense for everybody in the chat.
Boom. Well, I couldn't have explained it better myself. And you guys leave your questions down below because I'm reading them. Michael, I know you've been in the chat area. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody that's been leaving super chat donations. I want to jump into the first question from Sebastian Smith. What are the best steps to take when decide on or figure out a format for a show or segment? Not passion, but the actual format of the videos. You know, what I'd say for that specifically, right? In relation to passion is this, like, what format like excites you the most, right? Like what format are you most comfortable with? And this is the thing, like it's great when you see another YouTuber and you want to like follow their format or, you know, like the way they segment their video out. But whatever you feel most excited about that like gets you most energized and that your audience loves the most, I would just start diving into that, right? Try different things. it's different for everybody, you know. Like, so it's a hard question to answer because depending on your audience, depending on the type of content, depending on your vibe, will determine that, right? I mean, look at this. This is a live video. I mean, this is unscripted, you guys. Michael and I just went like literally this morning. I'm like telling, like, yeah, let's talk about some, you know, motivation. Well, let's talk about this, and then we came up with the title and we just went for it, right? Totally different format. The reason it works for us is because this is our vibe, right?
Right.
Whatever works for you guys is what you should do, right? And that's why like watching a lot of YouTubes is a good thing. Watching a lot of YouTube videos is a great thing because you're gonna like be able to like source different ideas, get inspiration. So I like to do that. Michael, anytime, jump in if you have any other questions that you want to answer. You guys leave them. I'm gonna be reading them below. Okay.
Well, a couple things there. One is exactly what I was talking about there, though, right? You need to test things for yourself. And so it's not about Michael and Benji can get on here and rant off the cuff for 45 minutes. And, you know, I guess that's what I need to do to be successful. No, you might be one of those super scripted people that loves to get everything dialed in and you know exactly what you're saying. You have these little prompts. I mean, but does that come natural to you? Because if that means it's going to take you a year to put out a video, that could be a problem, right? So you've got to just try the different things. But one person left in the comments, well, what do you do about unsubscribers? Well, I want to talk about one thing real quick, which is the negative and the naysayers and the judgers and everything else. Do not let yourself be crippled from putting content out there and starting and creating because of the dislikes, the unsubscribes, the nasty comments. I mean, I vowed and learned through actually originally Alex and Mimi, I just have zero tolerance for that. And so if you're constructive, that's one thing. But if you're just nasty, just block you. Like I don't need to tolerate that. And so I want to encourage a place that when people come to my platform specifically, whether they're on my YouTube or Facebook or whatnot, I want it to feel like a safe place. And so you have that control if you really want to block people and different things, but don't worry about unsubscribers and whatnot. It's going to happen. It will 1000% happen, but you have to focus on the 99%, not the 1%ers. The 1%ers are the loudest though. They're typically the ones going, you suck and you're horrible and these videos and the lighting and the this and the that and your voice is crazy. But the reality is there's actually 99% of other people who probably love what you're doing. But unfortunately, just like in media, the people who actually love you aren't always the loudest. So they're not the ones talking the loudest about they love what you do, but they're there and they're in abundance. So you have to focus on the many, not the few.
Absolutely. And like it leads right into the next question from True Panay. I am struggling to start. I'm passionate, but really scared. And let me tell you a little secret. There are so many YouTubers that do this full time, right? That are epic and successful, and you would think are not scared, but to this day, they still live with a level of fear, right? Of doubt, and of course they get discouraged. They're looking at these negative comments or these trolls and these haters, and they're affected. They're all human, right? We're all human, and you're like being scared is okay. Like sometimes being scared is like it's a signal that you're doing what you should be doing, right? Especially, and this is the thing, one of the number one reasons why people are scared is because of judgment, because of this negativity, because of like people saying nasty things about them in the comments. Doesn't feel good. Right? And you know what? When you do something that other people aren't willing to do, there's a lot of people that want to pull you down, okay? And this is starting to sound a little cliche, a little cheesy, but it's so true. And you know what? It's okay to be scared. And you know what? Go boldly, go forward. And if you're passionate about something and you believe in it, just get your mind mentally prepared that you are going to get some judgment. People are judging you all the time. By the way, when you're walking on the street and people are walking by, people are judging you all the time. You can't stop it. It's human nature, right? And the thing about YouTube that's unique, and I think social media in general, is anybody in the world from anywhere, from a computer, right? I'm in my office in my backyard, can literally leave a comment and save face, right? They literally don't have to like look at you and say those nasty things. I've been doing this for 10 years, you guys, okay? Millions. So those billions of views, I'd say like 700 million of them are on a vlog channel, and we're vlogging our life. And a lot of people judge us on how we live, our parenting style, you know, like our food and what we do. And people have left some nasty comments, literally, right? Like I can't, hundreds of thousands of nasty comments. Never in my life has anybody to my face said that.
Yeah.
The reason I like to share that story or that example is because it's so easy for people to leave these things, right? So take it with a grain of salt. Sometimes, you know, one reason you're scared is maybe sometimes they say things that are true, right? And you just have to look at it and like process. But you know what? It's just so much bad stuff. What we like to do is focus on the positive, right? The people that are supporting us, giving us constructive criticism, right? And appreciate what you do. And that's what Michael was saying. Like, don't stop for those people that are pulling you down. Start and continue going and be tough for those people that are like hungry for that content that you want to put out.
Yeah. I mean, there was a girl at a coffee shop and I kept talking to her, and a couple of different people, the baristas, and this one girl started crying one day. She goes, there's nobody that I've ever talked to. And this was in real life here that sounds like you. I mean, I have these thoughts. She had these dreams. She wanted to be a photographer. And she says, when I go out with different people, that some happen to be doctors and lawyers and accountants, and they would say, you know, when she talked about her dream, they would go, that's nice, but what are you really going to do? Like, what are you really going to do when you grow up? And so these people are out there, of course. Now, Benji said that. Now that it was in a friend conversation thing, but I've heard this a lot at times. And so we get beat down. And that's why I found that we really have to be careful of who we put in our life in real life. Because sure, on YouTube, we can try to ignore the comments and we can do these things. You can build a thicker skin. But who's in your corner from your mom, your brother, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your best friend, and those around you? And that's a deep conversation there. I won't go too crazy with it, but I have found that one of the most powerful things is to do my best to surround myself with people I can talk to on the phone, I can meet for coffee, that I can Skype, I can Zoom, I can whatever, that are real people who can be encouraging and like-minded, because then if all you do is live in a vortex of the internet and you don't have anybody encouraging, then it's really hard to find the drive and the motivation and the inspiration to do things. Because if you don't have people who've got your back in real life, now you're reliant on that video you put up, getting a comment from somebody who says, great job. And they might not do that. That one comment could be, why are you here? And I've already seen a few comments here in the feed, right? There's people everywhere, but it's easy online. But surrounding yourself with amazing people, they're out there. We just have to take, again, the action to connect with these people. And it's important because when we have big encouragers and supporters that have our back in real life, then we can move forward with putting that content out. A couple people were asking, how do you know you're on the right track? What I've started to gauge is the right track is not an external thing based on likes, views, comments, subscribers, shares, and all these other virtual things. But rather, am I finding fulfillment in this? Because when I was only finding fulfillment in likes, views, comments, shares, and interactions in the social stratosphere, it was hard to continue to find, as we're talking about here today, the passion and the motivation to keep going.
Yeah.
So I had to find that internal source, but also people that, again, in real life had my back, that it wasn't just about likes, views, comments, and shares. Because if that's your measure of success and right track, then even if you're miserable, let's say it's going well. Like, let's say you're making money, the likes and the views and the comments and the shares are great, but you're miserable. Will you actually keep going? You'll probably not. I see you got something to say.
Michael, that's why I love having you on, because that is literally what we want to kind of end with, and
Perfect.
people to understand about this topic, about your passion, right? It isn't an external thing. It's not even something, of course, you can have mentors and people that care about you, right? But they're not always right? And they might guide you in the wrong direction. And it's all about in here, right? And that's why when we say like, you want to start recording videos or create a channel around something that you have fun and you would do for free, because literally it excites you to do it, right? And if you can affect one person, that's a good start. And somebody in the comments area asked like, well, I started uploading videos, but I didn't get any traction. Is that a sign I shouldn't do it? And that's what Michael was trying to say, is like, do you find fulfillment in doing it? Now, absolutely. If you put up a video and it gets 0 views and it keeps doing that over and over, yes, you have to position yourself strategically. Maybe it's not YouTube, right? Maybe Facebook or somewhere else, right? But internally, if you are helping one person, that's the start, right? And are you having fun doing it, right? Because this is the thing, like, I don't know if I shared the gardening tip here. We were talking on Facebook earlier, right? But I love the garden. And I would do it for free. Obviously, I do it for free. No one pays me to garden, right? And if I had extra time, I probably would start a YouTube channel teaching people what I know about it, right? And because it makes me feel good and I have fun doing it, but I know I can help somebody else do that, right? So that's the start you want, and you want to keep going. That's why we say, like, maybe it's not your lifelong channel, but it's a great start. You're going to start practicing, gaining experiences, get better, so that when you do find your lane, you do find whatever it is you're passionate about and your purpose in life, that you'll be prepared for it. But again, coming from in here, right? And that's why I started this whole thing by follow your fun, because that's something we all can universally relate to, because I think that's something that everybody wants to do, is have fun. And there's a lot of things in our lives that we are having fun, and we can like specifically say, yeah, this is a fun task, and it's a great, easy place to start right now. Michael, bring us home.
I think
so that we can round this all out.
I heard this thing from Derek Sivers, who started CD Baby. And one of the things he said was, so many people are two things. They're like trying to quit their job with music, and they're like, what do I do to make money? And then there's the people who quit their job and they're like, what do I do to make money? And so they're in these different scenarios. But he's like, I find that the most successful times, people sometimes let their job fund their dream. And so if you're in that situation right now where you have that job and you're like, well, I'd love to do this other thing for a living or whatnot, don't use that as don't use that as like, oh my God, I have to jump ship and go all in on this. And how long is it going to take? Here's the thing that you said earlier about if something's not working, that he also said was, a musician doesn't write one song and then shove it down people's throats for the rest of their lives until hopefully people like it. They keep writing song after song after song after song. And of course, there's some artists that have lots of hits. I mean, somebody like U2, whether you like them or not, and that's not the point right this second, but they've been around for a very long time. And they've had songs still, though, even with them, that people don't like at all. Even their super fans don't even like it. But then they've had plenty of hits. And so now they're one-hit wonders, right? You know plenty, I'm sure, of YouTubers who they had that viral hit and they disappeared off planet Earth. And so you just never know. But again, finding that internal thing, that internal drive, that you're having fun, it won't matter, but you just keep tweaking. And and Benji, I think one thing to end on there too, guys, what I found is some topics, there's a much more passionate crowd than others. So if you're into chocolate-covered ants, it doesn't mean you're going to have a YouTube channel necessarily with 8 million subscribers on it. But that could be the subscribers account Benji was talking about, where maybe you have 5,000, but you could still have a passionate 5,000 rather than a not very passionate million. And so you just never know. So don't gauge off of numbers and quantity and metric all the time as a measure of whether or not you're successful or your happiness levels are coming from those things, because every industry, every niche, everything is different. So my friends, go out there and don't, I'll say the worst thing is going to happen is you're going to know when you don't ask, you don't try, at least when you try. there's an opportunity for something good to happen. So you've got to try, you got to start, you got to ask, you got to send that email, because you never know what's going to happen from doing that. And the worst thing happens. I believe people are like, the thing you think, oh, I'm going to fail if this doesn't work. I think people are failures by not trying, not by trying. Every time you try, it's a learning experience. You can grow, you can tweak, you can shift. But when you're not doing a doggone thing, that's honestly when you're the failure. But if you have the ideas inside of you and you're giving them a go and you're trying them out, that's when you're winning. You're successful right then and there, not someday in the future. So,
boom.
Boom.
I love it, man. Thank you so much. You guys, if this was of value to you, and I know in the comments there, you guys are just going crazy right now, and you guys are really appreciating the content from Michael, and you feel like this is valuable information, give us a thumbs up, please, right? Give us a video a thumbs up so more people can see it and see that this was valuable content. We've been on here for another hour, Michael, right? But I just want to leave you guys with this last thought. Super short, I promise. I would not be doing this on video influencers and having people like Michael spend literally 3 hours this morning sharing his advice and pump you guys up with his amazing, ecstatic energy. And Sean and I wouldn't have spent 3 years interviewing all kinds of successful YouTubers and sharing everything we know unless we actually believe you guys could also do it too. When we say building your influence, income, and impact with online videos, we believe absolutely everybody that can find what it is that they are passionate about or have fun about it, record videos, get better, build an audience, and like figure it out long term and be committed, can find success. Do this full time, one way or the other. The business models are going to be different, right? Success is going to be different for different people, depending on where you want to go and what you want out of it. The best advice that I got out of this, I personally got, was again, the internal feeling and not letting the external metrics drive you. So if you guys felt like this was great advice and that you guys want other people, leave a comment. After this goes live, if you come back, leave a comment because all these comments disappear. That'd be great. Give us a thumbs up. Michael Gebben, you guys. Go check him out. We'll have his link down in the info box. Michael, you want to leave people with where they can find you with, and then let's end this. It's been an hour now.
Dude, I'm having a blast, man. This has been absolutely fantastic. The guys in the chat, we just got Mike Polas, just gave, I guess, $5. That's pretty awesome. So
thank you.
I don't know how that all works. I haven't even explored that. So I'm assuming he gave you real money.
Yeah, we appreciate all you guys' support. Yeah, the super chat is a way you can support the channel for us to continue doing this. But like we were talking about, like Sean and I, we do this for free, right? Like this isn't like a big money maker. Of course, we understand that this could become like something where, you know, we could potentially build a business from it, but we did it because we believe, right? Michael believes in this. And I'll tell you, Michael isn't specifically a YouTuber. He's like much more epic than just a YouTuber. If you get a chance to go to one of Michael's events, by the way, and I have not, I would recommend you stop by. They are amazing. The energy, right? Whatever energy fell off this live broadcast, imagine being there live in person. So Michael, share with us where people can find you so we can let people go there. Again, thumbs up, you guys.
Oh my gosh, amazing. So I'm overwhelmed. It's just so cool because I love to be able to see the chat and some of these other ways we've done things, haven't seen it. So you guys are amazing. Thank you for being on here. Hope you guys found this helpful. I do this kind of content all the time. So I do the majority actually right now myself on Facebook. I've been doing a ton of Facebook Lives. I think Benji's got me back convinced to actually put myself more back on YouTube, interestingly enough. But but that's the other thing, guys. Find the sweet spot. Right now, my sweet spot was actually on Facebook. So you can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Gebs86. So Michael Gebben, if you search there. But you know, I have 150 videos on my YouTube of inspirational content, and we're going to be cranking that stuff back up. I do a lot of Facebook Lives. And as he said, I hold an event in Alton, Illinois, once a month. So come check it out. You can go to jumpstarters.net, and takemia.com. Those are my main things. I can't wait to connect with some of these people. We've had some incredible people before, Benji, who have come and found me through when we collaborated in the past, and they have been outstanding human beings. So I'm excited to see who the new people come and follow, come say hello, send me a message, say that you loved this and had fun, and appreciate you guys. So
yeah. In last like 30, 60 seconds as you're talking, people were showing their appreciation. We had 30 people like this video. Wow. So obviously, I appreciate your time, Michael. Dude. Thank you guys so much. And you guys go out there and help build your influence, income, and impact with online videos. Make sure you subscribe if you're not, and we'll talk to you later.